All right, back for another beer review, and today I'm going to be reviewing yet another beer from the Other Half Brewing Company, and they're out of both Brooklyn and Rochester, New York, and this is their Triple Nelson Daydream. So they are calling this an Imperial Oat Cream India Pale Ale, coming in at 10.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in the time of review. This beer is exactly 3 weeks old. So this is basically a Triple IPA, and they are giving it the oat cream treatment, which means a bunch of oats and some lactose, and they're using 100% Nelson Sauvin hops for this beer, and then they are triple dry hopping it with Nelson as well. So what's not to love? I love Nelson, but usually I like it in conjunction with other hops. I haven't had too many just straight Nelson beers. The ones I've had have been good, but I think I prefer it in combination with others. But I don't know. It's Other Half. They do triple IPAs better than most in my opinion, and this sounds delicious. So we're going to crack it open and get right into it. Give it a nice aggressive pour here. Let's give like a 4-finger head. No, I'm just kidding. Don't want to get too crazy. Oh man, I can smell that from here. Holy crap. All right, so that pours out like so many other half beers. It's very murky and turbid. Has this honey orange color to it. I say that like in, I don't know, almost every single New England IPA review. But yeah, it has a honey orange color. Can't really see it through it. About a 2-finger of that's actually like an off-white head. I would say like off-white, eggshell white, definitely not pure white. It looks super creamy. I did pour aggressively, so we got a pretty gigantic head on here for 10.5%, you know. Wow, that's intense. And with Nelson, you typically get those white grape, white wine, gooseberry characters. Yeah, it smells like it smells like gooseberries and white grape, but like somebody sprinkled sugar on top of it from the huge malt character. You're getting a ton of sweetness on the nose. Some pineapple and passion fruit too. Wow, that last whiff was kind of astringent, but also completely different than the first time I went in. Oh man, yeah, that just has an intense fruity aroma to it. There is this like herbal, almost grassy-like character as well. There's a pretty huge, I mean, the sweetness of this beer is pretty big in the nose. So, you know, that malt bill, 10.5%, you're definitely getting sweetness to it. I've talked about this before in Triple IPA reviews. For me, they go one of two ways. Either I really love them, or they're usually not for me because the sweetness is too big. Based on the nose, this might be a beer that kind of leans too much towards the sweeter side of things for me. But I can't deny that this nose is one of the best noses I smelled in a while, honestly, from any IPA. Yeah, it just smells fucking great. Let's get into it. Cheers. It's quite delicious. Those oats, that lactose does what most of the other half beers do for me, which is just make such a luscious and pillowy and creamy mouthfeel. The body, it's not straight on full on body, but there is a heft here. There is a viscosity that approaches full. I'd say like lower side of full body, almost medium full. 10.5%, you kind of expect it. Although in other half triple IPAs, they're usually a little bit lighter on the body for me. They don't have like approaching almost a syrupy sensation to it. This one, a little bit more than that. This is a sweeter beer. But for my palate, there's a decent amount of like dryness and bitterness on the back end it's not necessarily balancing this out completely, but it is balancing out a little bit. Still leaning towards the sweeter side of things, but man, the flavors here are just really good. More of a gooseberry, white grape type of thing going on. Like a sweeter, like crushed pineapple, slight passion fruit tinge as well. Here's where Other Half is scary for me. 10.5%. Aside from a warming in the chest going down in the stomach, on the palate, I don't perceive this being a hair, maybe a hair over like 8%. I guess like 8.2. The fact that this is 10.5 is kind of crazy. This is, dare I say, scary drinkable considering the ABV. And yeah, this is another winner. Do I like it as much as like double dry hopped all green everything? Probably not. I probably like the Triple Citra Daydream as well from them a bit more. That said, rating wise on the Triple Nelson Daydream from Other Half, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5, but I'm going to say this. This is somewhere in between like a 4.25 to a 4.5 for me. If those other beers got a 4.5, this is like a 4.4, 4.35, somewhere in that range. I do feel by the end of this can, it might be a bit too sweet for me. I probably just want one can and I'm done. And that's what I'm obviously going to do here at 10.5%. And I want a little bit more complexity. This almost has like a creamy, like I said, a sweeter, like white grape, white wine, almost gooseberry feel to it, but it has like a creamy pineapple, creamy passion fruit type of thing going on too. Those lactose are adding a bit sweet, a bit too much sweetness, I think. I think I would rather have this without the lactose. I know it would take away from the mouthfeel, but I think that they would dial down the sweetness a little bit because I'm getting a little bit of vanilla twinge in there too. It's a bit too sweet. I'm going to say 4.5, but this is a little bit under 4.5 for me, regardless who cares about ratings. It's a great beer. If you can get your hands on Triple Nelson Daydream, do it. By the time you see this video, it's probably going to be around 5 or 6 weeks old, but these usually age well from my experience. So that was Triple Nelson Daydream from the Other Half Brewing Company, 4.5 out of 5. Be curious to hear what anyone else has thought about this beer if you got a chance to try it. Appreciate you guys stopping by for another review. Until the next one, cheers.